And welcome back to day 2 of War of the Spark spoilers. We had a couple extra cards spoiled yesterday, including the Planeswalker Jung-Woo, Wildcrafter, and his faithful companion Mo. And we got a couple more cards spoiled today, but before we do any of that, we got to actually scroll back a bit to some cards that were officially spoiled yesterday after they got kind of leaked online. So we have, first off, Angrath, Captain of Chaos. 2 hybrid mana, Rakdos colors, black and red. 2 of any color for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. Creatures you control a menace, and you can pay 2 to amass 2, creating a 0/0 zombie token, army creature token, with 2+1 counters on it, making it 2/2. Or, amassing and creating a larger creature on top of that. If you've got the amass effect going on, this could be a very dangerous card to be dealing with. But on its own, you're creating a 2/2 with menace. That's usable. That's a fairly okay card for 4 mana, particularly hybrid mana. That is a reasonable card. Then Angrath also has Angrath's Rampage. Now Angrath's Rampage is 1 black, 1 red. That is, I believe, uncommon. Uncommon. Choose 1. Target player sacrifices an artifact. Target player sacrifices a creature, or they sacrifice a planeswalker. Essentially, you can get rid of basically anything that is bothering you, which is handy, which is very useful indeed. But now let's go on to our, it's a good card. For 2 mana, that's a good card. Let's get on to our main event cards now. Jung-Woo, a Wildcrafter, is 1 green, 2 of any color for a 3 loyalty planeswalker with the 1- ability. His static ability is each creature you control with a +1 counter on it has tap and add 1 mana of any color you may pay 1 and put a +1 counter on target creature. So you're basically going to create bigger creatures that can tap for mana. Excuse me, I got a lozenge in my mouth. And that's good. I mean, you're only going to get 2 real pops with this, unless you're able to increase his loyalty, which we have proliferate, so possible. Forgive the in and out. It's trying to adjust for certain things. Giant Growth returns, nothing to really speak of there. But then we have Mo, Loyal Companion, which is the loyal companion of Zheng. 3 of any color, 1 green, for a legendary hound, Trample Vigilance. If 1 or more +1 counters will be put on this creature, that many plus 1 +1 counter are put on there instead. So you can immediately, thanks to Zhang's ability, turn this into a 5/5 that can tap for a color mana, or just become a 5/5 trampler. Look, at just 4 mana, 1 green, 3 of any color, a Trample Vigilance creature is very, very good. Then you get this extra ability where you put +1 counters on it. It gets extra +1 counters. This is a card that doesn't just work with its planeswalker. It works with a lot of cards in general. Simic would love this card. Riot loves this. Gruul probably would really like this card. Any card that's dealing with +1 counters, this is a card you want to be using. You get this in the limited, you get this in the pre-release, and you're able to pull out your planeswalker as well, that would be Zhang. You will have a lovely time with this card, absolutely. There is also Eternal Taskmaster, 1 black, 1 of any color. Enters the battlefield, there we go, 2/3? 2/3. For a 2/3, enters the battlefield tapped. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 of any color, 1 black. If you do, turn target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty decent. This is uncommon. So essentially, so long as you're able to attack, you can keep bringing your stuff back. That's Hey, look, that's good. That's very good. Now, granted, it's a 2/3, so it can die to some removal pretty easily, but still, it's good. Neheb gets its 3rd iteration. Dredd Horde Champion. 2 red, 2 of any color for a 5/4. Already playable. Trample with no downside. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you may discard any number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards and add that much red mana. But here's the kicker. Until the end of turn, you don't lose this mana at the end of steps and phases end. So this is an interesting card. Right off the bat, it's usable because it has no downside to it. You don't have any condition for playing it. You don't have any condition for attacking with it. There's no condition for it being on the field more turns. It's just, if you just ignore its actual damage ability, you have a 5/4 with trample for 4. That's playable right out the gate. You then factor in that it is capable of producing more mana, which means it's capable of producing mana for your bigger planeswalkers or your burn spells. A lot of players would use it for your X-costing spells. If you're doing Teamer and you're using Hydrokrasis, then or Hydroid Krasis pumps up, gives you more mana for the Hydroid Krasis. So, look, there's a lot of versatility with this card. It is a very good card. Speaking of cards that just make us laugh, Fblthp the Lost. 1 blue, 1 of any color. For a legendary rare homunculus. 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 instead. And becomes a target in the spell, shuffle it into the owner's library. Fblthp finally got his own card. And we are all just tickled by it. It's an interesting card. I've heard a lot of people really liking this card. And obviously, casting cards off the top of your deck is a way that you can do from your deck. So it's not a card that's impossible to play off the top of your deck. Absolutely not. And right at the bat, it's a trade-off. You can get a card and draw a card as soon as it comes into the battlefield. So, I mean, he's good. How good is he? That remains for better, smarter players than me to figure out. We then have Dredd Horde Arcanus, which is 1 red, 1 of any color, for a 1/3 trample, zombie, rare, wizard. When it attacks, you may cast instant or sorcery cards with converted mana cost less than or equal to this card's power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If this card would be put into your graveyard, this turn exile it. Or if that card would be. I like the art, but I didn't get around to reading this card until just now. Let me read that again. When it attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost less than or equal to this card. So basically, you can cast a 1-powered spell. You need to pump this thing up in order to cast bigger spells. Now, to be fair, that's not terribly hard with some of the cards in this set so far. And it's only 2 drops, so it's a 1/3 2-drop with trample. Just weird. Now, if you use it with something like Samut's ability, or Samut's Strike, or Stride, whatever it's called, then you automatically can pump it up. There's ways to get around this, absolutely, and give it more value. As it stands, I don't hate it. I don't love it, though. Speaking about cards I don't hate or love, 1 black, 1 red for Dredd Horde Butcher, which is a 1/1 zombie warrior. 1 second, focus. There we go. Haste, whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you put a +1 counter on it. Fair enough. Planeswalker should be pretty easy to damage in the set. When this card dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. It's deceptive, I think. 2/1 for a 1/1 for just 2 black and red haste. That's good. That's good. So you'll be able to probably, if you can get it out on turn 2, which is very possible, you'll be able to at least get it to a 2/2 pretty easy, maybe even a 3/3. You're probably looking at a 3/3 or 4/4 by the time someone's able to kill this thing. And then you can pop anyone for 4. I mean, so in that sense, that's good. But again, there's something about it, because it's a 1/1, that means it's easy to kill, ultimately. So anyone with just a ping ability or something like that, especially if you don't have this on your opening hand. If you just get this, like, couple turns in the game, there's always stuff on the field that can block it. It's not that good at that point, then, is it? It's just kind of there. Now, if you can pump it up or give it evasion, that's different. Then you can make an argument. But on the whole, I like it. I could find uses for it, but I don't love it. And last but not least, Totally Lost gets a reprint with Fblthp. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. 1 blue, 4 of any color. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Short and simple to the point, but the story is it's on top of Ugin's head. How did Fblthp get there? How did that little munchkin get there? He's lost on Ugin's head. maybe he's not a planeswalker. We know that. He's a homunculus. We know he's not a planeswalker. Otherwise, they would have given him a card. Or maybe he is. Do. Who knows? One day, Fifth Spark may ignite. After all this war is over, and he'll be the most powerful planeswalker ever. Beware, planeswalker. Fivit the Lost. Anyway, not a lot of cards there today. I think we were getting the bulk of our big spoilers. That's not fair. Because I was going to say bulk of them, like a huge chunk yesterday. But at the same time, they said spoiler season is going to work differently this year. And that it's basically going kind of chronologically when these things show up. When the characters show up in the storyline. So, like, Ugin probably is going to show up near the end. So, like, in the third week, we're probably going to get Ugin. And then, like, the official spoilers for Bolas. Because we have Bolas and Niv right here. I could talk about them, but they haven't been officially spoiled yet. So, I'm not going to bother talking about them. Just because it's, again, I went over why I'm not talking about these cards right here that were basically leaked somehow, some way. People got a hold of them. So I don't find that fun to talk about. So I'm going to wait until they actually show up. So that's why we'll probably get more spoilers on certain days than others. But if it's not fitting chronologically to the story going on, so be it. Right now we're only in the first act. I think it's a 3-act structure. And we had all the first act cards spoiled yesterday. Or during PAX East. So at the beginning of next week would be Act 2, and the beginning of the third week would be Act 3. So we'll get the story. We will. It's gonna take some time. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I just who would win. Star Wars, Superman, Magic, What If, anything I do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that. Put that in the comments below. I'll get to that at some point. And ideas for who would wins. And if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. So thanks for watching. I'll be back with, well, actually, that's it for today. I got to pre-record the who would win and what if. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, folks. Later.